It's no secret that Halo Infinite had a very rough launch back in 2021, but with desync and 6 to 9 month long seasons with no content. It was a rough time to be a Halo fan. Over the last 6 months, with seasons 4 and 5, the game has seen drastic improvement, with there being regular updates, as well as additions like fan favorite game modes like Firefight. Although these changes are great and it feels like Infinite is slowly being resurrected, there is still much work to do. With it being a few weeks into January, I thought I would make a video of what I would like to see in 2024 and beyond with Halo Infinite. I'm going to go over multiple topics like UI and game functionality, the shop and customization, ranked, social matchmaking playlists, and BTB. So strap in, because it's going to be a good one. So the first area I wanted to touch upon is game functionality. Things like the UI, the sandbox, as well as quality of life improvement. A very popular request has been having a social match composer similar to MCC. This is something that has been confirmed to be in the works, as mentioned by Sketch on Reddit. This system would be huge and would mean that you would be able to play the game modes that only you want to play. No more one flag on Konsuni Bay in squad battle. No more Scar and Breaker CTF in BTB. No more AR and sidekick starts in quick play. This would greatly improve overall user experience because they would no longer be forced to play the game modes that they do not want to play. While we're on the topic of matchmaking UI, I feel as though the UI could use a big overhaul in general. The current scroll system we have to find playlists is disorganized and blends the ranked and social playlists together. A better solution would be to have a mix of Halo 5's and MCC's UI by having the social playlist contain the match composer that was mentioned earlier, with ranked, custom games, and Firefight having their own sections. Another addition that could be implemented into the UI would be the ability to have server select. I have a lot of friends in the EU, and they always complain about how dumb it is to be solo queuing and being put onto American servers instead of their own. MCC has this system, so Infinite should as well. Yeah, there is the issue of there not being enough players of a similar skill level in the same server to match you against. I think for ranked that's totally fair. This also leads into my next point being that there should be a looser skill-based matchmaking system in social. The reason why I bring this up is because when I'm searching social, I would like to enjoy myself and not have to deal with either sweaty players or the game intentionally putting teammates of lesser skill level in my game to force me to lose. I feel like this would help a lot of players in the EU as well as Australia when finding social games a lot quicker, as I personally have a number of friends that suffer from these issues in both regions. In addition to overall game functionality, I would like to see a higher variety in the sandbox. I was watching a friend stream the other night, and he was playing Halo 5, and I quickly realized how many weapons there are available at your disposal to use back in Halo 5 compared to now. A lot of those weapons were gone after Halo 5, like the SMG, the railgun, beam rifle, even the plasma rifle. The plasma rifle was a staple weapon in the Halo series in CE, and it's just gone. Now there is such a thing as oversaturation. I definitely think Halo 5 was guilty of that, because there were definitely a lot of weapons that felt like they functioned like one another. But when I'm comparing Halo Infinite's sandbox to Halo 5's, it just feels like they were kind of scared to have fun with some of the sandbox, and in result, the sandbox just feels kind of dull. Another huge function that was in previous Halo games that feels like is lacking in Infinite is your overall game career. I feel like as though you don't really have too much to play towards in the game, and you're kind of just playing for the sake of playing. Yeah, I know that we do have a career rank system that was introduced in Season 4, but I feel as though it's a lot shorter in length compared to games like Halo 5. In order to obtain max rank in Halo 5, you had to gain 50 million XP, where you could average about 23,000 XP a game. Make grinding out max rank even more satisfying when you finally completed it. Whereas compared to Hero, you only need 9.3 million XP to reach it. Like, yeah, you earn slightly less XP per game, but the grind is still significantly easier compared to Halo 5's grind. On top of that, there are already hundreds of heroes and Season 5 is not even over yet. I honestly would not be opposed to a prestige system like Call of Duty's, as it would not only give the career rank more longevity, but it would also give players the chance to earn even more rewards. I feel like another addition that could spark some competition would be the ability to have a global leaderboard for things like career rank, competitive ranks, or even medals. Imagine being able to check the leaderboard for the person with the most ninjas in the game and see that Omniscient Wolf is #1 in the world for ninjas or some shit. There are external websites that keep track of this stuff like Halo Tracker, but imagine how nice and convenient it would be if you could just check in-game. In addition to having extra stuff to grind, I feel like besides the hero rewards, there are not really that many cosmetics that you can flex for doing something impressive. Sure, the Forgers do have their special coding when they get a map featured in matchmaking, which is still pretty rare, but there's not really any cosmetic you could do challenges for. Even MCC had something like this. Like, for example, this noble nameplate, you had to earn 150,000 points in the final level of the game. When you saw this nameplate in matchmaking, you know that someone did something cool to earn it. It's why Recon back in Halo 3 was so legendary, because you had to complete Vidmaster challenges in both Halo 3 and ODST, and they were incredibly difficult to complete. So when you saw it, you knew someone did something cool to get it. Even Halo 5 had something to grind for and flex, like Achilles. Like the Target Master Magnum skins that were released towards the end of Halo 5's lifespan. Give people stuff to grind for. It's how you maintain a player base. It gives people something that not a lot of others would have, and makes it more valuable and unique. Speaking of uniqueness, I would also like to address the issue that I think is a little bit silly that it even exists. For the love of God, please stop selling nostalgia, especially for 2,200 credits. Now, listen, I understand I'm not a game developer. I understand how hard it is to steadily produce new content that'll keep your fans happy, especially when you have to rely on these cosmetics to bring in revenue to your free-to-play game. But I should not be spending my hard-earned money to wear armor that was already obtainable for free in other games. I'm looking at the pilot helmet, the War Master helmet, even my own helmet, Celox. Most notable game that seems to keep reoccurring as new content is the Reach armor sets. Hell yeah, I agree Reach is a fan favorite for its customization, but it's being reused 3 different times now. Halo 5, and then MCC when they brought Reach to the Master Chief Collection. Why I didn't mind it as much because I didn't have to pay for it in MCC. This time around, the Reach customization was locked behind the Season 1 Battle Pass, which you could purchase for $10. I do, however, will admit that $10 on a Battle Pass is more worthwhile because you do get 100 tiers worth of content, and you can progressively earn back your credits to spend on the next Battle Pass if you choose not to buy anything in the shop. It's a lot more worthwhile than some of the bundles in the shop. Like, let's take the CE kit for example. You have your armor kit, 2 colors, and a visor for 2,200 credits. That's 4 different items for $25 essentially. The CE kit, color green and black. Literally just black. And don't even get me started on the visor that has like 3 others that look exactly like it. I've also been seeing reports that previous bundles are now being sold at a higher price than when they were originally released. Now Sketch does explain why they got higher pricing than they already were, saying it was a response to some of these items that come in crosscore. I honestly strongly disagree, because this is like charging $5 for the color white, and then upping the price to $10 because it's now usable on all cores. It's still only 1 item you are getting. It's honestly probably why the CE kit is as expensive as it is. I gotta be honest, if they do the same thing to say like a red team armor kit, I'm gonna cry. Hi, Junk from the future here. I can confirm they didn't do that. They actually not only made it free for all players, but it is also customizable, which is sick, and I cannot wait to try it out. Big props 343, and it looks freaking fantastic. Now that we've talked about what they can fix with the store and customization, I would love to talk about what they could add. I would love to honestly see more AIs. I feel like they've been underutilized thus far. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing AIs be more monetized. It reminds me a lot of the Voices of War Wreck pack in Halo 5. Imagine how cool it'd be if you could have like a Sergeant Johnson AI just screaming at you.
Next wave coming in. Get set, troopers. This is gonna get hot.
Another addition that has been asked for a lot is playable elites. Like, just add an elite core. Just do it. It would be freaking amazing for people that make machinimas, for custom games. Like, if we had elite cores, we could probably bring something back like Invasion, which would be huge, as I know it's a fan favorite. Lastly, for customization, since we're on the topic of cores, I would love to have the ability to shuffle through my cores automatically, instead of having to manually equip them every time. This could be done similarly to how Fortnite had their presets set up, and having the ability to shuffle through those presets. While we're also talking about Fortnite, I think it'd be really cool if we could gift bundles to friends. It would make for a really nice and convenient way to give your favorite duo a birthday present. I would also love to see dynamic nameplates, like you saw in MCC. I thought those were a really cool addition, and they added some really nice charm. I would also like to talk about some of the general playlists, starting with ranked. In general, I feel like there should be more than one permanent ranked playlist. Playlists like SWAT, Snipers, Free-for-all, Slayer, Doubles, as well as Tactical Slayer. They should all be permanent playlists. Halo 5 practically had all of these, and they still had a rotational playlist. Hi, Future Junk again. They did confirm that both Rank Slayer and Rank Doubles will be coming in the future, post-Match Composer, whenever that's added. So, yeah, awesome. Thanks. Bye. Confining ranked players to only one playlist really limits the playstyle of other players. It should definitely be improved upon. Another addition from Halo 5 that I would love to see come back would be the Champion rank. Champion rank showed who was the top player in the world for that playlist, and it was such a spectacle to see. Having the ranks limited to Onyx just feels wrong. It just feels like there's something still missing. I would also like to see, in general, just more balanced matchmaking. I feel like 4 stacks should only be able to match other 4 stacks. It's not fun when you're solo queuing and you just get hammered by a team of 4 who's calming. In terms of ranked mechanics, I would love to see the ability to rejoin a game after disconnect. Valorant has this, and yeah, it might not be as viable because Halo games don't last nearly as long as they do in Valorant. On top of the fact you can just simply quit out of the game with no penalty now. But I still think it would be a helpful mechanic. Lastly, I would like to talk about the state of the social playlist. I would love to see PvPvE return to Halo. It's a huge blast in Halo 5 with Warzone, and I would love to see either Warzone return in some capacity, or there be a similar game mode to return in its place. Another thing that I would also love to see return is Last Spartan Standing, maybe when UI limitations aren't so severe. I would love if it got its own dedicated maps to play on that actually fit the game mode, as back when I was playing it in Season 2, I felt like some of the BTB maps felt out of place. If you don't know what Last Spartan Standing was, it was Halo's attempt at a battle royale that was introduced in Season 2. It was a blast for me personally, but was removed fairly quickly as it allegedly didn't really have that high of a population. It was just taking up UI space. I think with a few tweaks, Last Spartan Standing could be very awesome and a really unique experience to show off in Infinite. I also want to talk about BTB because I am a BTB kid, and I feel like it's the playlist that has the most issues and the most room for improvement. First issue that I would like to see fixed is the exploit you can do with the tank turret. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, essentially, when you get boarded in a Scorpion or a Wraith and an enemy plants a grenade on you, you can switch to the turret seat and basically avoid all damage instead of dying. I feel like this is abused a lot. I know, me personally, I definitely abuse it, and I don't necessarily think it's the most balanced mechanic in the world. If you didn't know you could do that, now you do. You're welcome. Second issue that I would love to see is a rework of the repair field. The repair field was introduced this season in Season 5, and I feel like it's been absolutely broken in BTV. They're having a lot of time to spend with it. I feel like it should spawn differently. I feel like it should spawn similar to how the Quantum Translocator and the Active Camo spawn. The main reason why I'm even saying this is because of the fact that you can simply heal a vehicle that's in its Doomsday status and essentially heal it back up to full health. This alone makes it a lot more sought after and might honestly introduce a more competitive side to it if it was turned into like a power item. A couple things that I would do to balance BTB more is definitely add an overheating system to some of the vehicles that have chain gun turrets, like the Warhog and the Wasp. More specifically, the Wasp, because it has been broken ever since Infinite has come out. I think the game mode will really benefit from an overheating feature, so that the Wasp user isn't 1v12ing the entire enemy team. This one is definitely more of my opinion. I know some others may not agree with this one, but I honestly feel like they should nerf some of the weapon drop pods, especially on maps that have loot caves like Fragmentation. I feel like drop pods should drop more simpler weapons at the beginning of the game and then progressively drop more stronger weapons as the game progresses. For example, if I'm 0-0 on CTF, I should not be getting a duelist energy sword and tracking rockets. Instead, save those for the end of the game, like when it's 2-2, so that the stakes are more higher and that those weapons are able to be utilized more efficiently. In terms of changes of weapon spawns, I feel as though there should be a guaranteed anti-vehicle weapon spawns on all the maps. It could be a Hydra or a shock rifle. I really don't care. But the main issue is that both of these weapons can get switched out by different weapons. Like for example, the shock rifle can get switched out with the Stalker, and the Hydra can get switched out with the Ravager. If RNG allows it, this can also lead to games where you have both the Ravager and the Stalker rifle, and leaves your entire team having no weapons to deal with those pesky vehicles. They're just left to get farmed by a wasp. To wrap things up, I would also just love to see a 12v12 playlist like we had with Warzone Warlords in Halo 5. Because personally, when I'm solo queuing, the last thing I want to deal with is a 12 stack of farmers. Sorry, not sorry. Lastly, I would like to see more maps in the playlist. We have not gotten a new map since the introduction of Scar in Season 4, and myself and I'm sure a bunch of other people are starting to feel the boredom of having no new maps to play. There's even a lot of amazing Forge maps that I'm sure with proper optimization would make great additions to the playlist. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching this type of different video. I normally don't post things like this on my channel, but I made this video because I feel like it's important to highlight all the main issues to hopefully make a more positive change. Hopefully 343 watches this. I would honestly be a little bit surprised if they did. But if they do, I do hope this helps them in their endeavor to make the game better. And this video is not an excuse to harass the devs. I just want to remind people of that. These devs, a lot of the decisions they're making are probably not theirs entirely, and these people are just as passionate fans as we are of the game, and all they want is what's best for it. I love Halo. I've loved playing Halo from a very early age, as I'm sure a lot of you have. I just merely want what's best for it. Do you think I hit all the high points? Do you think I missed any, or do you disagree with some of my opinions? Let me know in the comments, because I would love to hear your guys' opinions on some of these changes. I think having different opinions is what is going to make this game thrive overall. But until then, thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.